Alrighty guys, we're back for some big red dinos, and this is a Lost Caverns of Ixalan Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Okay, the dinos, Etali Primal Conqueror, as a 2 of in this one. Do we gotta go over it? No, it's a powerful dinosaur. We see it all the time. Trumpeting Carnosaur, 6 mana, 7/6, trample. When it ETBs, you discover 5. A lot of terrific things to hit in here off that discover 5. Also acting as some removal too for 2 and a red. You can discard it. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Nice. So you can also think of this as 3 mana removal, which is very, very nice. Bonehoard Dracosaur, all 4 of them. They 5 mana, 5/5, flying, first strike, dinosaur, dragon. So cool, man. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exiled a land card this way, you create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exiled a non-land card this way, you create a treasure token. Pretty powerful, just 5-drop in general, guys, but we do have some ramp in here, so maybe we get Dracosaur down on 4 and it becomes even more powerful, right? Because this on turn 4, this seems like a little bit too much for the opponent to deal with sometimes. Now, of course, there's still terrific removal packed into Standard, but you guys know what I mean. More dinos, Rampaging Raptor here. This is a 4 mana, 4/4 trample haste. We do have all 4 of them in here. So for 2 and a red, Rampaging Raptor gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And then whenever Rampaging Raptor deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls, or battle that player controls as well. Or player protects, I should say, right? So there's a lot of planeswalkers floating about, first of all. Seen a lot of Wandering Emperors, of course. I've been seeing a huge uptick in the amount of Lilianas being played too. So Rampaging Raptor dealing with all those effectively is going to be very, very nice. But we do have some battles packed in here to work with the Raptor too. Invasion of Karsus. This is a 4 mana, 4 defense counter, battle siege. When Invasion of Karsus enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker as well. So more ways to get rid of those darn planeswalkers, right? Also, just like having this as a board wipe against things like soldiers, mono white humans, Selesnya humans even, right? Mono red, obviously. Just like the board wipe is going to come in handy so often. But then when you flip this, it comes out as Refraction Elemental. It's an elemental. It's a 4/4. It has ward, pay 2 life, not bad. Whenever you cast a spell, Refraction Elemental deals 2 damage to each opponent. So just, I guess, adding to our win conditions. I was going to say one of our win conditions, but obviously all of our big dinos are our win condition anyways. So it's like extra value, I suppose, at that point. You do have this down after wiping the opponent's board and you slam down a Rampaging Raptor next turn, swing in, hit the opponent's face, flip the Invasion of Karsus for free off the Raptor's ability. Like, that's pretty disgusting, dude. It really, really is. We got some ramp here with Glittering Stockpile. We got 2 of them. So you can tap it for a red, and then you put a stash counter on this. But then the bottom ability, you can tap it, sack it, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of stash counters on Glittering Stockpile. Actually really like this piece of ramp. I do think it's decent. It's just kind of looking for the right build overall. It being an artifact could come in handy in this build too, because more ramp here on the top end with Mightstone, Weakstone, but we're not really looking at this as ramp. We have no huge artifacts to play out with it, but we do have plenty of effects that we wouldn't mind using that bottom ability for. So you can tap this to add 2 colorless. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells, so that means you can use it for everything else, which is awesome. And of course, we can cast out our artifacts with it as well. Again, I don't know how often we're using it as ramp outside of just activating abilities with it, which I think is going to happen a lot more in this build in particular. So the other abilities, of course, target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn, dealing with things like Shieldred effectively. That'll be nice, but outside of that, this is actually our card draw of the build too. So I do like having all 3 of those in there. It's going to be excellent to hit off of the Discover with Trumpeting Carnosaur. If you're dropping a 7/6 trample creature already, and then you hit a Mightstone, Weakstone, draw 2, that's pretty gross, man. There's actually a lot of really disgusting lines of play in here. I got a 1 of Celestus acting as more ramp. There's more ways to get that turn 4 Bonehoard Dracosaur. Sounds good to me, huh? Got even more ramp here in the 2 mana spots. We got Irencrag. Not doing too much with that whole bottom ability with the whole legendary creature nonsense, but I suppose it could come in handy, like Etali's legendary. I don't know if we're going to flip it. I think we're always just going to use this as turn 2 ramp. And we got a little bit of an oddball pick here, maybe a little janky, but Buried Treasure, the 2 mana artifact treasure. You can tap it, sacrifice it, add 1 mana of any color. Okay. But it has that bottom ability for 5 mana. Exile Buried Treasure from your graveyard. Discover 5. Activate only as a sorcery, of course. So, so is that bad? I don't know. I actually don't think it is, especially when, yeah, of course, we can use the Mightstone, Weakstone's bottom ability to go ahead and cast that from the grave for a little bit cheaper, 2 less, which is pretty good. Discover 5. There's a whole bunch of terrific stuff to hit with the Discover 5. Imagine going for that Buried Treasure and hitting a Bonehoard Dracosaur off of it. That just seems like serious value, especially since you already ramped off the Buried Treasure too. You probably ramped into something pretty decent anyways. Yeah, dude, I like this. We'll see how much it actually does today. Like I said, it could be a janky pick. I'm talking so much about the 5 drops, but I missed one here. Magmatic Galleon. This is a 5 mana, 5/5 vehicle with crew for 2. So the crew we're not really looking at. It's really the other abilities here too. So when it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target creature and opponent controls. So another thing that can effectively take care of Shieldred, that's going to be important. Whenever one or more creatures your opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, you create a treasure token as well. So acting as more ramp, it is an artifact as well. So the Mightstone, Weakstone can help cast it out too, which is pretty cool. Like I said, we're not looking at the crew too often on this. As crew 2, I suppose maybe we tap down one of the tokens off of the Bonehoard Dracosaur to power up our 5/5, which I guess, yeah, that could be enough to maybe push some extra damage through. But outside of that, we're just looking at the top 2 abilities. More cards here in the 2-drop spot. We have a couple treasure maps. 2 mana artifact for 1. You can tap it to scry 1. You put a landmark counter on treasure map. Then there are 3 more landmark counters on it, which happens pretty fast, dude. If you're doing this every turn, those 3 turns are up pretty fast. You transform treasure map and create 3 treasure tokens. So that could be excellent ramp, or it could just be excellent card draw in here too, because it transforms into treasure cove. You can tap it for a colorless, or you can tap it, sacrifice a treasure, draw a card. Nice. And since we have the 3 treasures generated off of that, Buried Treasure is also a treasure, and then Glittering Stockpile is also a treasure. So that's all pretty cool, man. I like it. Some early removal. We have a couple Volcanic Spites. Just clearing up creatures early on is important, but what's interesting about Spite is it can hit battles too, which is nice, and then also helps us filter out. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. Good stuff, man. I like Volcanic Spite. A little bit surprised we don't see more of it, but I suppose that's because in the mid-range builds that we do see, we don't see a lot of red, right? In the mid-range builds, I'm pretty sure at least. But yeah, this belongs in mid-range, I would say. Since we can hit battles, we can hit Invasion of Karsus with it too. Maybe flip it, probably not though, because of the 4 defense counters. More early removal, Play with Fire, just a couple of them. And I thought about some other 1 mana removal spells for this, but I think Play with Fire is just going to do a lot more. It's instant speed too. What's nice about the 1 mana removal spells too is once you get to that turn 3 and you play like Celestus, you get to keep that Celestus open with a Play with Fire, which is really nice. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so honorable mentions, a ton of them over here. Like I said, I thought about some more 1 mana removal. Maybe that should be Strangle, but I do think sorcery holds it back sometimes. And Strangle can't hit treasures. Or, yeah, listen to me. And Strangle can't hit battles. I'm still looking at that buried treasure. That's funny. But yeah, no, 3 damage does go a lot further sometimes. So I don't know. I thought about Torch the Tower. The artifacts in here, I really don't want to be sacrificing to that bargain outside of like the treasures generated off the treasure map. So yeah, Torch the Tower, not this time, although the Exile could go a long way too. This does hit creatures or planeswalkers. Again, it can't hit battles, where Play with Fire totally can. Also, the Scry on Play with Fire is probably a little better too. It is a dino build. Thought about Triumphant Chomp. Only hits creatures though, and since there's not a lot of early dinos, or there's like literally no dinos before our Rampaging Raptor here, I think it's not going to be ideal for early removal. Thought about Nahiri's Warcrafting. That does hit battles quite effectively, but not this time around. We got the Scytheclaw Raptor, almost made the cut. It's a nice little dino. Same thing with Giant Cindermaw too. I actually opted for no dinos that could get hit by the Invasion of Karsus, as you guys could tell. There's early ramp, early removal, and we're ramping into those big old chunky dinos. Thought about Chandra. Thought about the other Chandra. Thought about more board wipes like Burn Down the House or Brotherhood's End. Both of those could be cool. I think just opting for the battle board wipe is going to be a lot neater with the Rampaging Raptor, right? So, what about Invasion of Tarkir? Not enough dragons in here, though. Bonehoard Dracosaur is, in fact, a dragon, but this could be interesting because it could act as, like, another way to end the game. And being a battle, like, we still have other stuff in here that hits battles, too, so... And more dinosaurs that I thought the yearling could have been a neat one, but again, just opting for the early ramp instead. Oh, guys, even though it took me so long to go over, I should go over the mana base. Got Crucible of Defiance, are rocking a Hidden Volcano this time for more ways to discover, and a couple Cavern of Souls to make sure like our Etali doesn't get countered once we finally do get the mana for it. So maybe we actually want all 4 Cavern of Souls? It's possible. Either way, guys, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first match. Of course we do. Very nice. What am I expecting from the build? A little bit, man. When I play Big Red, it usually does a thing. At least a little bit. A pretty bad hand, isn't it? 26 land total in this one, guys. We go first. I'm risking it. Let's do it. 26 land. That means there's 24 more land in this deck, guys. Plus all the 1-drops, so you can see all the 1s and 2s. There's only 2 1s, which is, of course, Play with Fire. But there's a lot of 2s that we could see. That would be good. There it is. Okay. I'm a little bit less scared now because we have Ramp with Glittering Stockpile. And then if we see more mana, that's totally fine too. Woohoo! The Lesney enchantments, maybe a budget version based on the Fang. It could be. Trumpeting Carnosaur is not a bad one at all, dude. Make sure we get that stash counter on the stockpile. We'll wait for their turn because they might see this open mana and play a little bit differently. I don't think they will, but still. Okay. Yeah, for some reason this week, it took me a while to go over these builds, even though I feel like they're relatively simple builds. I apologize for that, guys. I always get mixed opinions about going over the deck, though. Some like the longer explanations, some like much shorter explanations. Okay, make sure you tap that. Get the stash counter. Overall, though, okay, they went for the draw on announcement. Do we just swing with Raptor? Try to... Maybe we can outpace this a little bit. Invasion, I'm gonna try to hit more creatures off the invasion. We're going for this, dude. Let's go for it. Yeah, for explanations, I always try to get like a middle ground. Okay, they go for the draw on announcement again. Invasion of Karsus hitting a lot less. Only the 3 mana. Was it a mulligan? Yeah, probably, but first of all, we could still get there. And the stash counters on the stockpile are going to be wild. We might have a chance of winning next turn. We might. Actually, we could have played Invasion, wiped their board, and then had the Raptor flip the Invasion too. That could have done a similar concept with less damage to their face. We could have just established the extra damage from the Refraction Elemental. So that's definitely something to consider. Borrowed Time, take a Raptor. Followed Haunting. Hopefully these don't get over the Invasion of Karsus, guys, because they still have an open forest. Invasion of Karsus needs to... Yeah, they have to think about this because it could easily be Another Raptor. First of all, what a board to wipe, dude. This is gonna be brutal stuff. Yeah, with the Glittering Stockpile, we almost have everything in hand that we want. We could go Trumpeting Carnosaur, see if we hit something too, but nah, it's just Invasion. Funny enough, 26 land definitely did not feel like 26 this game. Flip that Invasion. That's brutal stuff, man. That's brutal stuff. Holy cow. And the opponent definitely needs more removal here. Definitely needs more removal. And yep. Start generating some more blockers, but all we gotta do is successfully play two things next turn whenever you cast a spell. So Trumpeting Carnosaur could get us there. Depending on what they do, they got a forest. Another Invasion. You know what's more fun though? The Trumpeting Carnosaur. That's much more fun than just dropping another board wipe, right? Sick stuff, dude. Holy cow. Celestus, nice. GG opponent. GG. 3 mana, guys. 3 mana. That was sick. What a first game, dude. Holy cow. Oh, I kind of wanted to look at the opponent's list there a little bit further too. So it looked like maybe a Hollowed Haunting list with a lot more 1-drops packed in, maybe? The Fang of Shigeki, the Death Touch. Maybe that's their answer for certain cards like Shieldred or something. Not sure. I kind of wish I would have taken the time to look over the opponent's cards and see if they had anything in the grave or whatnot to look at too. I wasn't paying too much attention there. We go first. After the last game, hopefully we get the mana. At least we have 3 mana in hand this time, right? Last time, wait, did we keep a 2? We kept a 2 and then drew into the 3rd, right? I think so. How do I already forget that? Golgari, uh-oh. Uh-oh, we gotta go fast, dude. Well, none of our ramp this far. Would have been good to see one of our 2 mana ramp cards or 3 mana on that turn too. They found theirs. Etali. Invasion. It's just Raptor plug some damage through, right? Yeah, and then we have like Mightstone and Weakstone to take care of Shieldred if that's what they play for the turn. Hulking Raptor, well that's a thing. Guess what, guys? It's Invasion of Karsus for the turn. Gets rid of Raptor while getting around the ward, and then we flip it off of the Rampaging. Wait, there's 2 Raptors on this board. You guys know which one I'm talking about. That's funny. You know what? You know what? Dude, that combo's wild, dude. Holy cow. That's so brutal. Yeah, so Golgari has a ton of removals, ton of spot removal packed in all the time, so I'm not sure what I'm expecting here. A mana off the top wouldn't even be bad. Like, we have a great hand to see land off the top for a few turns. Probably some tough decisions from the opponent, dude. Invasion of Zendikar, they go for the ramp. They say, am I going to die this turn? And they say no, because I have a go for the throw in the hand. Oh, wow, there's mountains in this build. Wow. Go for the draw. Guys, I'll tell you what, it's just Raptor. It is. It's like the haste and like no removal from the opponent. Wow, guys, what on earth? I mean, we got a little lucky that game, right? Right? Without them having removal. Even so, getting that flip on the Refraction Elemental's wild stuff. Yeah, so if they had 1 piece of removal, they'd be down to 2. And then on their turn, they would need more ways to remove our other creatures as well. At any point, if we saw the 6th mana, the Trumpeting Carnosaur is coming down. If we didn't, we had card draw on the Mightstone Weakstone. Even without seeing our early ramp, the opponents actually let us get the mana there. So without seeing our early ramp, if we were up against like mono red, we probably would have just been completely overrun. So we got lucky that the opponents actually needed to establish something too. And then by the time it came time for that mid game, we just established something bigger and a lot more aggressive. That's cool. That's cool stuff. That means if we actually see our early ramp like we're supposed to, we might actually have a chance against some of the more aggressive decks as well. All right, dude. Working out nicely so far. 3 mana in hand again, that's probably fine, but the rest isn't, and we go first again for some reason. Where's our early ramp, guys? Should I mulligan? You know what? It's been working out so well already. We might as well just keep it, see what happens. Maybe we'll draw into some of that early ramp too. Generous visitor, huh? Okay. At least we went first. That means Invasion of Karsus 3 damage might actually be able to clear things up. The big thing is, of course, they can get things above 3 pretty easily. Matter of fact, they can do it next turn if they want to go all in on Visitor. Yep. It's fine to see mana, but what's going on? What's going on, guys? UK Naturalist. Go buffing wide, guys. This invasion's gonna be so brutal. Oh no, opponent. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, buddy. Now watch we draw a Rampaging Raptor off the top or something. Oh, buddy. A little bit of ramp on the Magmatic Galleon if they play something small. But it's probably just Bonehoard. But if we get Bonehoard down, then some removal is probably... They haven't played any yet because we haven't played any yet. So ossification, all that fun stuff is probably chilling. Reestablishing a board state pretty effectively. Early ramp. We found it, guys. Congratulations. It's really funny. Yeah, if we go Bonehoard, it probably gets picked up by removal right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to take care of that Naturalist, I'd say. Get a treasure token for the turn. And then go from there. And if we see like a mana off the top, then Etali can come down. Which is probably a little better. And there's Visitor number 2. Was it worth picking up the Naturalist? Probably. Probably, because if we picked up Visitor number 1, they could have played Spirited Companion for 1 mana, still played their second Visitor anyways. Rampaging Raptor. Oh my goodness, dude. We're at 11, though. We do got to be careful. Removal. We could die next turn. We really, really could. All they got to do is block with one of these, so that way the invasion doesn't flip. 1, 2. All right. Let's go for it. Let's do this. It flips. There we go. All right, hopefully that's enough. Hopefully that's enough of a blocker. So one of the other options, yeah, if they take it out, we can power up Galleon to block. Buried Treasure, I'm actually not going to play. Because we'd have to get rid of one of our other... We'd be trading a treasure for a treasure, having less mana. Okay, buff, buff, ossification, see where they target. Probably the refraction because they want the swing. So then we power up Magmatic Galleon. It's cool. It's cool. It plays out pretty well. Now we have a terrific block. Audacity. Buffing wide. Cool swing. 8 coming through. We should probably take out a Visitor, right? Trample there could be bad. We can't successfully win next turn. Cavern of Souls. Call Dino. Etali. It's got to be Etali, right? Because we have a chance of... Like, okay. Like Mightstone, Weakstone, we could remove the Generous Visitor, but then we could still die next turn easily. They just remove the Raptor swing with Companion. But then we have the Galleon to power up, don't we? Yeah, if we miss on Etali, we won't miss. Let's do this. Let's get our big dino down. We won't miss. We're fine. We're fine. What do we hit? Ooh, Volcanic Spite. That does hit the companion. GG opponent. Guys, what's happening? Oh, heck yeah, I had fun. Let's keep going. It's working out really nicely, isn't it? Here, we gotta be getting a little lucky though, right? Right? How fun is this? Really fun week of videos so far. Having a blast playing Magic the Gathering. All right, opponent, what you bring it to the table, buddy? Look at this. What is this? 3 mana. It's been working though. We gotta try it, right? Oh no. Okay, wait. The opponent goes first this time too. I don't have enough early ramp packed in is what it means. This could go either way. All right, let's mulligan this time, right? Right? There we go. Okay. We got some early removal too. I don't want to get rid of a mountain though. But we have 26 in here. We'll see more. 26 land, dude. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of Etali either. Like, I like the top end. We only have 2 Etalis in the build, too, so... Oh, my goodness. This is the chance for the deck to lose, for sure. For sure, man. Mono red aggro going first against it. Hey, opponent. I like your card sleeves, buddy. It's not very often that we do go up against an opponent with the exact same card sleeves. Oh, guys. Oh, we're in trouble. Oh, we just gotta go, bro. Volcanic Spite needs to take this out. I am gonna swap out that Etali because I don't think we're gonna have time to get there. Treasure Map could be a good one to trade out too, but... Found our 3rd mana. Commando number 1 flips. Commando number 2 flips next turn. Is the Godric coming down? It is the Godric. That's big damage for the opponent. All right. We got to our turn 3. We survived. We made it, guys. We did it. 3 damage doesn't hit the Godric because Commando buffed the Godric. Outside of that, Treasure Map isn't going to do it because we die next turn, so it's got to be Trumpeting Carnosaur, but we don't want to do it on our turn because they could have something more deadly to hit other than the etchings, or like they target... So, yeah, like they target one of the etchings with... Wait, it looks like they're going to have 8 damage anyways, huh? Oh, buddy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that'll do it. Take out one of the etchings. Taking 9 damage. They still have something. Play with fire. Oh my goodness, guys. We got 3 turns. We got 3 turns. Actually, that's a perfect example as to why we're seeing a lot more Path of Perils, right? Yeah, because you get to turn 3, Mono Red's about to win, drop a Path of Peril, you're back in it for a little bit. In that scenario, like Godric wouldn't have died, right? Path of Peril hits... Wait, what does it hit? 2 mana or less? It shouldn't be 3 mana or less. Yeah. I feel like I gotta go check, but I'll check after if I remember. About 28 minutes in. Definitely have time for more. Let's do this. Let's do this, guys. Been a fun build so far. More early removal. If we were able to take out the Godric with that Trumpeting Carnosaur, that would have been a different ballgame. But that shows the power level of Commando in general, just being able to give counters to creatures that really shouldn't be entering with extra counters. Also, Invasion of Karsus, we only got 3 turns, guys. We wouldn't have even been able to drop this. That's wild to think about. On it goes first. Unless our turn 2 was actually ramp. If our turn 2 was ramp, then we would have had the turn 3 Invasion of Karsus. But again, it wouldn't have hit that Godric, so yeah. Yeah, we would have needed to see a crazy lineup. Well, I'll go for the Scry. No creatures to take out means it's probably not soldiers. Volcanic Spite. I'll send it. Actually, I'll keep it. I'll keep it. It can hit battles too. And if I'm wrong and it is a soldier list or something crazy, then at least we have it as emergency. Third comes down, passing it right back. Etali off the top. Not terrible. But we're not giving them any targets. And actually, since it's probably a counterspell style deck, Invasion of Karsus not hitting anything anyways. Do we drop it while we have the 4 mana available? Maybe we get a counterspell out of their hand? No. No, we try to be patient with it because they could drop Wandering Emperor, get some, gonna be an impulse. Gonna say Wandering Emperor, get some tokens, and then after they start generating some tokens, maybe the Invasion of Karsus picks up their Planeswalkers and their board state. 5th mana. Well, this is a great example of the Cavern of Souls, right? If we had all 4 Cavern of Souls, maybe one would be on the board and we could get a Bonehoard down. But if we do, they could just spot remove it anyways. So let's see. Let's see. I don't think we hold this back, right? Like, back and forth is eventually the opponent's going to generate enough. Incapate for 1. That's 1 counterspell out of the deck. But yeah, if Cavern of Souls was on the board and the Bonehoard landed, then instead of a counterspell, it could have just been spot removal anyways, because they had a ton of stuff open. Without any targets for all of our removal, this is going to be a bit of an awkward game. We get a counterspell out of their hand, and we go Volcanic Spite onto the Invasion. We could trade out the Magmatic Galleon. Let's see. Let's see. We're playing it. I don't think they even counter this. But then on their turn, we'll go Volcanic Spite onto the Invasion, and then we'll trade out the Galleon. It's a little bit janky, but we have nothing else to do, man. And if we keep holding it, and I'm wrong, and like it's not a Wandering Emperor style list, then they're not generating anything anyways. As a matter of fact, Mind Splice Apparatus, instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So we'll see. We'll see how punished we get for playing that Invasion. I'm just thinking, like, we're not doing anything else anyways. A little bit of patience maybe could have helped, but outside of that, I think trading out that Galleon's going to be a little bit better. Mind Splice Apparatus might mean this is like a White Sun's Twilight style build. That could be really bad because Invasion of Karsus would be perfect to clear up those tokens. Okay, maybe I should have just remained patient. Over scrutiny. 2 white mana open. Now's the time. Trade out this Galleon. We have 7 mana for the Etali. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Etali's gonna need to hit something huge here, man. Trumpeting Carnosaur. Yeah, no blue source open for the opponent. Etali comes down. Let's see if we get, like, Rampaging Raptor or something. We do see the Rampaging Raptor. Wow. And a draw on the Union. Cavern of Souls. Sweet. Dude. You know what, though? Now that we're actually getting stuff onto the board, this is a board wipe style deck, isn't it? We're in trouble, aren't we? That Mind Splice Apparatus looking super scary. Double white. Double white. Depopulate. Ah, man. Well, let's see how much we can establish here. Oh, wow. Buried Treasure could actually be pretty good. Okay, Dinosaur. No counters for my dinos. Trumpeting Carnosaur. That's pretty sick, guys. That is, actually. The Cavern of Souls being in here for our big dinos. Glittering Stockpile, not great. Not terrific. This Buried Treasure really might go a long way here. Opponent's thinking about this. Okay, it lands. Let's see that buried treasure. That would be a pretty bad counter for them because we have so much mana already. Of course, like, all that extra mana could go a long way if we get another Rampaging Raptor. Because it's hasty and, like, we'd be able to potentially buff it twice, that could be just 8 damage to the opponent's face then and there. Everything in their hand is getting super duper cheap, though. These Mind Splice apparatus. Man, why don't we see... There's, like, so much in Standard that's just like, where is this card, man? Mind Splice apparatus control? You'd think we'd see more of this. At any point, they just drop Union of the Third Path like 3 times on the same turn because it only cost 1 white mana for them right now. There's the White Sun's Twilight. There it is, guys. Okay, I might get super punished for not holding back that Invasion of Karsus. We did have a cool turn with it, though. Now, let's see what we see. More mana. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. Oh, I forgot to tap the Glittering Stockpile on their turn, too. I got distracted. Yeah, I don't think we need the extra mana, but, like, you never know. Make sure to tap that every turn, even if you're not using it. Bonehoard Dracosaur. Man, this is cool. Haha, the poison's probably going to get through anyways, but... Oh. They do have 2 mana open, guys. This could easily be Syncopate again. It lands. Good stuff, good stuff. This is a pretty cool one, man. I do want to get one more match in after this, though, so... I like to let opponents play it out, especially if they got, like, quests. It's too bad we can't see the opponent's quests. We can let them play this out, because we're going to die next turn from the poison anyways. And I always like to see what's on top of the build, too. Like, they can easily just hold back. So this wasn't a Wandering Emperor style build. It's an instant and sorcery. White Sun's Twilight, probably like a 4 of the main win condition with Mind Splice apparatus. Ton of life gain with Union. Ton of life draw with Silver Scrutiny because the apparatus makes it super cheap. Like, oh, buddy. Cool. We've been seeing a lot more control recently. And the variety of control can be frustrating sometimes because usually there isn't too much variety. But I actually have been seeing a good variety. I've been seeing Dimir Poison. This is a Mind Splice apparatus control, which we like never get to see, so that's cool. Gain a bunch of life. They're up to 33. And then we see Esper control. We see blue-white control. Like, the variety of control has actually been pretty good overall. They've all been equally brutal, that being said. Hey, Rampaging Raptor. Mightstone and Weakstone. I forgot to tap the freaking Glittering Stockpile again, guys. I apologize. We could have had a couple stockpile counters on this already. Mightstone and Weakstone. We'll just power up the Raptor a few times. That's what I get. Like, we get this, like, actually we could have powered it up one more time with the stockpile. It don't matter because the poison's getting through next turn regardless, but yeah, pretty cool stuff, man. Fateful Absence, that would have been 13. It wouldn't have mattered too much anyways. We do have the draw on this, but we got to get rid of the treasure. Let's see what's on top of the deck, dude. Mightstone and Weakstone. Yeah, the extra card draw and everything helping us maintain ourselves against other mid-range builds or control lists like this too. Let's drop them the GGs. I always appreciate the variety, so very nice. Guys, we are 39 minutes in. Let's push it. Let's go one more. I'm actually thinking there's a little bit of power in here, man. It felt pretty good overall. Now, the draws have been a little bit slow, or on the slower side. But in that game, if we had that hand versus that mono red list, I think we would have survived a little bit longer and maybe even had a chance of sustaining ourselves. Not really sure. Okay, then now this looks like the most balanced hand of the evening, honestly. Gotta give this a shot. We have a turn 3 Rampaging Raptor, and that's enough for me. Oh, crap. Speaking of control, huh? Let's see another variety of it. Irencrag hits the board. Passing it back, probably. Yep. Okay. Now, at what point do we want to play around this, and at what point do we just keep slamming things, or trying to get things through? All right. We got to try it. We got to. It lands. Spot removal. Again, depending on what you're going up against, man, maybe... Oh, exotic pets. Dude, what's up? I'm sitting there like, yeah, we're seeing a lot of variety and control, and here we go. What's this list now? For real, like, what is this? Well... we gotta outpace them, right? Attempt the Rampaging Raptor. Swing for 8. And now it's looking very, very deadly for the opponent. Like, they desperately need something here. Exotic pets. Some spot removal. 2 pieces of spot removal. Anything. Flip the invasion. Do their creatures on tap? Do their creatures on tap? What does this do? Oh, untap 4. Wow. Oh, that's so cool, man. Okay. Well, they definitely have the blockers they need. Galleon. Treasure token. Play Crucible. Volcanic Spite. Right? It's removal for the turn, since our raptors have been surviving. And then full swing, they have the blocks. Is it, maybe we save Volcanic? Let's swing first. Yeah. I'm getting a little hasty there. It's a swing first. Okay, they go they go all into one. Make sure it dies even with removal. That's fine, actually. We get the 4 through. I'd rather take care of the ones that can't be blocked than the ones with trample. Okay. Was that the proper play? I think so. I think that's what we wanted. Passing it back, let's attempt the Volcanic Spite and ditch that stockpile out of our hand. See what happens here. Okay, buried treasure. Not terrific. There's treasure there because it was extra damage. Mountain comes down, playing around a make disappear for the turn, actually. Now that we have 2 open. Trumpeting Carnosaur, let's see what we see. Could be a Wandering Emperor, but I wonder if they would have wanted to do that last turn. Dude, look at that. Wow. Invasion of Karsus. Wow, dude. Extra treasure. Power up the Galleon. They now need 2 pieces of removal here. Full swing at face. What do you got for me, opponent? It could be Emperor, exile Magmatic Galleon, gain 2, take 4, but then we flip the invasion and play buried treasure, and it's another 2. So yeah, if they exile Galleon, gain 2 up to 6, they take the 4 from the Raptor, and so does invasion, and then we play our last spell for the other 2. Oh, also, if it's just something like this too, then we can buff Raptor once, like that. And that'll do it. 5 gets through. Beautiful, guys. Other than that, if we didn't buff, if we didn't have the extra treasures, they would have been at 1, right? I believe so. I think they only would have taken 3 there. What a wild time, dude. What was the opponent playing? That looked so fun. That looked so cool. There was a moment there where I was literally cheering for them, so awesome. Okay. Let's see here. 45 minutes in. We made good time overall. Got a good chunk of games in. Let's check this mastery tree. Next up, I need to get this the last avatar here because I just got the Admiral Brass avatar. So we're working our way. Get all the avatars first. That's the plan. Okay, let's go over the deck one more time. Guys, hey, you made it this far into the video, first of all. Thank you so much for being here. But second of all, we have the Discord link down in the description, and we also have that Patreon link down in the description as well. Of course, I highly recommend joining up that Discord. Great place for the community just to, you know, discuss brews, discuss anything really. And then, of course, that Patreon is a terrific way to support the channel. It really is, yeah, and I never get to say it enough, so thank you so much to all my patrons, for real. Y'all are champions for real. Here's the deck list again. Speaking of, by the way, like I went over the mastery set, you know, while I'm bringing all this up, right, we always have chapters at the bottom of the video, as well as timestamps in the description too. Always feel free to skip ahead. And usually when I'm putting those timestamps in, I skip over a lot of like the extra talking and a lot of the extra rambling that I do. Maybe I won't this time. Maybe I'll keep it in so that way everyone can hear me saying all that, right? But okay, anyways, here's the deck list again, guys. Nice. Holy cow. This did a thing. Invasion of Karsus paired with that Rampaging Raptor was so good. Bonehoard Dracosaur, it fell flat a little bit, but it wasn't a bad card by any means. Etali, of course, being on the top end, wouldn't go up any, wouldn't go down any. I think the 2 of is fine. Trumpeting Carnosaur, yep, you want the 4 of. The big things that you want the 4 of, for sure, Carnosaur, Raptor, Invasion of Karsus. That was the soul of the deck. That was doing the bulk of the lifting, the heavy lifting, right? I would say. I guess the Etali kind of did a thing too, a little bit. Galleon was actually pretty good. Wow. It was. Good extra ramp, good removal. The crew came in handy. I could see potentially dropping a couple Dracosaurs. Maybe go up another Galleon and more early removal too, because you really need that early removal for mono red. You don't have too much. Maybe just more ramp. We kind of struggled to find our early ramp. I guess overall there isn't too much, is there? Buried treasure. Irencrag, Celestus, stockpile. And I guess treasure map kind of sort of counts. It's not too much. It really isn't. Maybe if we drop a couple Dracosaurs, go up 1 extra piece of ramp, 1 extra piece of removal, or maybe that second Galleon. Probably not the second Galleon, though. It is a 5 mana card, so it's probably just early ramp, early removal, drop a couple Dracosaurs. And then there's going to be moments, though. There's going to be games where you only see your early ramp. And then you're just like, come on, man, I just need I need a dinosaur off the top. I almost said dragon, which is the same concept with Dracosaur, I suppose, but cool stuff. Don't forget to tap down your stockpile like I did. It didn't end up mattering, but like still, it's a thing. If you don't use it, you still want to tap it. You still want that stash counter regardless, because you never know when that extra mana is going to come in handy. Like you really don't, especially with Raptor. When you have that Raptor and you have that ability, and you have like 5 counters on your stockpile, then you can tap that, use the bottom ability, tap a land, and buff the Raptor twice to an 8/4, which could be enough to slam the excess damage through, which we saw the deck really, really did damage, and quite fast. Just big old dinosaur, big old chunky dinosaurs on the top end happened to do a thing. I loved this, man. Okay, enough rambling. I wouldn't change too much. That's the thing. I'm considering dropping a couple Bonehoards. Outside of that, I think it would totally be fine if you kept the 4 of them too. Depending on how much control you're seeing, maybe we want to consider going up some Cavern of Souls. The 2 might not be enough. Maybe we want all 4 of these, because it could prevent some serious counters. Yeah, if you prevent a counter on the Etali, that could be enough to just put the nail in the coffin right then and there. So that's something to consider. I like the Mightstone and Weakstone. I could also potentially see dropping one of these for more early removal. Again, it's going to come down to what you're seeing. I'm seeing a good variety. Seeing a lot of control, seeing a lot of aggro. I see the oddball mid-range every now and then. But I'm not seeing too much of either or. So trying our best to like build around a deck that can do both things effectively. Deal with the early aggro as best as possible and actually do a thing against control too. So it really depends. You got to find that good balance. Like I said, though, I wouldn't change too much here. I think it's fine. I don't know. I would say put it on the do not craft list, but that's just because everything in the meta is so strong anyways. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to my builds recently. But like Bonehoard Dracosaur is mythic, you know, and then we got a bunch of rares with Etali, Rampaging Raptor, Trumpeting Carnosaur is rare too, Treasure Map's rare, Mightstone Weakstone's rare, Magmatic Galleon's rare. The meta base is relatively budget, but even the Cavern of Souls is mythic. Crucible's, of course, rare too. Yeah, I don't know. Probably put it on the do not craft list, unless it just looks like way too much fun for you to pass up. Outside of that, if you got the cards, boy, this was a fun time, huh? And then, like I said, you could consider rearranging things based on the meta that you're seeing. Maybe we drop a Mightstone Weakstone, go up a Play with Fire. Maybe we drop a couple Bonehoard Dracosaurs. Maybe we go up like an extra Glittering Stockpile. Or a second Celestus is actually pretty good too, because if you end up seeing both of them in the same match at the very least, one can filter out the other one with that ability anyways, and then the life gain does come in handy in mono red. It really does. So you never know when you're holding on for dear life and you're at 1 life because of that one time you gained on Celestus for that match, because it does happen. So also, like early removal, like we got to count the Trumpeting Carnosaur as early removal too. So we do got a lot packed in here already. You drop the Mightstone Weakstone, you are getting rid of some of the card draw, which actually ended up not mattering in those matches anyway. So yeah. Okay, cool. I like how I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't change too much, but then I give like a whole bunch of options of potential changes. But that's kind of like, you know, playing around with the numbers in this build could really go a long way based on what you're seeing. So okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions for real. I super duper appreciate you. I know I said this at the beginning, but like I said, I put those chapters down there and I might skip over it. So I got to make sure y'all know that you're champions regardless. Okay, I will see y'all in the next video.